Hey everybody, welcome back to Going for Two with Jack Taylor. My name is Jack Taylor.
My name's Hunter too.
And we are super excited to be here again to talk about college football, to talk about Mississippi State. Not really excited about watching the game that's about to happen, but excited to talk about it nonetheless. We've got a game from last week against Auburn to talk about. It was a beautiful game that we are super excited to dive back into.
It was just a good game.
It was just a good game all around. Scoreboard. And then, obviously, looking ahead to the Georgia game, going to make our picks for the week and maybe answer some Instagram questions at the very end. So it's not a normal episode, as you can tell. I mean, we're doing a lot of new things. We're going to speed run it all and still end up at just about an hour. So that'll be
around 52 minutes.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're shooting for. So you got anything before we do all this?
But before we get into it, I mean, I guess there was a really big SEC West matchup last week that went to overtime, and I mean, it's what everyone was talking about. So, I mean, I know we're about to talk about another SEC West matchup that went into overtime
that everyone was talking about.
I mean, I guess people were talking about it just because it was kind of a gross game, but that's all I got.
Yeah. You just segued perfectly. So let's talk about Notre Dame over Clemson. I'm just kidding.
You have to do your intro.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about that. Okay. So let me think about some.
This is Saturday morning. Friday night.
Friday night. If you're listening to this on Friday night, you're a big fan. And we're big fans of you because you got on this really quick. Is this going to be posted tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. So either Friday night or Saturday morning marriage advice. What I think I'm about to be 3 weeks into this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just make enough for leftovers. Make enough dinner for leftovers throughout the week so that you don't have to cook every single night. More time to spend together. Right? Me and Courtney are still eating on some chicken tortilla soup from a few days ago. So
imagine making chicken tortilla soup, but only making enough to eat it once.
I need
so bizarre.
I need 2 bowls worth of chicken tortilla soup.
What would you cook that in? Like just a little, like what you cook green beans in?
Yeah, just a little pot.
That'd be so bizarre.
Yeah, so just make enough for leftovers, so you don't have to cook everything.
Make a normal amount of food.
Just make food.
Don't half recipes.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
If you see a recipe for one person, double it.
Triple it.
Make quadruple it.
Pentuple it.
Wow. You're talking about some serious leftovers here. But that's marriage advice from 2 guys that have a combined 5 months and 3 weeks. Not to each other.
On average, it's like
a few months.
2 months.
So not to each other, but
our average marriage is like 2 months.
All right. College football.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what people are here for.
Mm-hmm.
They may just be here for your intros.
Yeah, maybe so. We're going to turn into a marriage podcast. All right, so
going for
matrimony with Jack Taylor. All right, so before we have 3 big games we want to talk about with big implications from last week, like playoff type implications.
Wait. Can we make a marriage cookbook? Have it cooking for 2 with Jack Taylor.
You get it started, I'll sign off on it. There we go.
Put it on Amazon because they'll print and do anything.
What would be the first recipe you put in that?
I don't even know.
Like country fried steak?
Maybe. Some good cheap ones are like chicken spaghetti.
Chicken tortilla soup.
A bunch of soups are good.
Bunch of soup. Chilies
are good. There's a lot of stuff. You can make salmon and then have salmon bowls as leftovers.
Right.
That's pretty good. I enjoy that. You use the leftover rice for that. You just buy an
If anybody was
avocado.
wondering, being Hunter's roommate was really fun because he or Sarah would always cook when she was over, and they would just offer it to me sometimes. So
Yeah, you're welcome.
mhm,
We
thanks
cooked
that.
for leftovers. And
Yeah.
Jack.
And I ruined the leftover part.
Jack's name is Leftovers.
People forget.
Jack Leftovers Taylor. Okay, let's get into college football. You were
All right.
saying
Yeah.
playoff
So
implications and stuff.
we had 3 games that had like playoff implications, but before we get into that, we have to give an update from last week on our fantasy team that me and Hunter co-manage. I'm only going to say the name one time because it's kind of obscene. But CD's Nuts suffered their second loss of the season last week at the hands of Nerf or Nothing. And so we're third in the league at 7-2. The only teams we've lost to are first and second in the league. So, I mean, we're losing to some high-quality opponents. But we'd like to see us show up against big names.
We
Looking
also
ahead
have
towards
by far the lowest points against. So
we're
Not
a
Mickey
heavy
Mouse,
defensive team.
not Mickey
We're a heavy
Mouse.
We're a heavy defensive team, and but we never have a good defense. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Football.
Yeah, so we survived. No, we didn't. Dak and CD's bye week was rough on us. Not going to blame it on them because our running backs did not show out last week. But it's a new week, and we're already off to a good start here. So, anyway, last week, LSU and Alabama playing in Bryant-Denny West, as some would have called it. Since 2010, Bama had not lost a game there, and they lost. Overtime comes around. Jaden Daniels on the first play of LSU's possession in overtime, he scores, and they go for 2. Brian Kelly just puts them on the table, and they go for 2, and they get it. LSU storms the field for the first time. LSU storms the field for the second time since I've been married, which, as I said earlier, 3 weeks. So kind of weird, but LSU right back in the swing of things. I think they're first in the SEC West right now.
Yeah.
And they somehow
beat Arkansas and you're good.
Yeah, they somehow have like a chance to go to the playoff now. A lot of things have to go.
They just had to win out and beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Then you're
I mean, I think that'll do it, yeah. And TCU probably has to lose, but we'll talk about that.
I don't know if they'd keep out an SEC champ.
Yeah.
They'd have wins over Alabama.
I think they would put LSU in over the one-loss Oregon team that we're probably going to have.
Dude, the one-loss Oregon team's going to be looking good.
I know, but I think the playoff team's going to be like
so good.
Dude, I know.
Pac-12 is so good. I love it. Like Oregon
they're gonna look at Oregon and be like, man, that first week against Georgia, we don't want to see that again.
And Oregon has scored like 45 a game since then.
Yeah, and Georgia hasn't looked that good since then, except for one game against Tennessee.
Did they even look that good?
In the first half,
Tennessee
they were
just looked
pretty
bad.
good. In the first half, they were incredible. But anyway, so LSU over Bama. It puts Bama in a spot that we haven't seen them in, I guess, since like 2019?
2019, they had one loss going into the Egg Bowl. I mean, into the Iron Bowl. It wasn't even this bad.
Yeah, and that's when they played in the Citrus Bowl against Michigan, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, this also, LSU beating Bama kind of opened up a weird window for Ole Miss to have a chance, but LSU will still.
I thought it was easier if Bama beat LSU because
Yeah,
then
'cause
all Ole
LSU
Miss had to do would be.
Yeah, because LSU already has the tiebreaker over. Yeah. But I guess in some way it just made Bama look more beatable.
Mm-hmm.
Like gives Ole Miss a little bit more of a chance. But as Mississippi State does every year, Ole Miss is now going to have to play Bama off of a loss, and we'll see how it goes. We're definitely going to talk about that game coming up in a little bit. But the next game is a game that I didn't watch any of. I was in Starkville, but Notre Dame over Clemson. This game was in South Bend, and they won 35-14 over Clemson.
Notre Dame killed them.
Pretty much eliminating Clemson from the playoff. I think they were up 28-0 at one point.
Mm-hmm. Just ran the ball on them. It was great. Like 3rd and 12, run it, get a first down, run the ball on them.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, so there was one day early in the season where Notre Dame lost to Marshall, Texas A&M lost to App State, and I would have guaranteed you at that point that for whatever reason that A&M was going to have a better season than Notre Dame. And now, as we sit here, I think A&M's 3-6, and Notre Dame is 6-3. I mean, they've turned into a top 20 team.
Yeah, like they can mess up some people's playoff stuff coming up.
Yeah, I mean they've messed up
North Carolina.
North Carolina so far. North
Clemson.
Carolina's 8-1, and the only loss is to Notre Dame. So
They have USC coming up. That could wreck the entire.
Marcus
Pac-12.
Freeman becoming a Catholic was the ticket for them. So
Should have done that sooner.
really fun storyline there. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, kind of eliminates the ACC from having a team in.
God be praised.
Yeah, so we kind of saw it happen. We saw it coming with Clemson all year. I mean, some team was going to knock them off, whether it was Syracuse or Wake Forest, NC State, or Notre Dame. So it finally happened, and we're thankful for that. The last game here we're going to talk about is Georgia over Tennessee. The first time we ever saw a number 1 versus number 1, the AP versus the college football playoff rankings. So that was a weird storyline, but obviously one of these teams was going to lose, and it looks like it was a fairly close game, but Georgia jumped out to a massive lead in the first half, and Tennessee's offense that has been their trademark all year just couldn't get going. So
yeah, I was pretty much wrong on that one.
yeah, that was the one game we had different last week, and I was able
I changed it right before we sent them in. I said
You did
I'm
it
gonna
for
change one for
content.
content, and then we had the exact same for 9, and then
yeah. Once again, me and Hunter just have the same brain when it comes to college football. So
our personal echo chamber known as going for 2 with Jack Taylor.
yeah. So and I think I'm up by 1 right
You're
now.
up by 1.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so that game, I mean, that decided the East right there. As long as Georgia beats us and Kentucky, they're in. So not too tall of a
They'd
task.
have to lose both, right?
They would have to lose both. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's not happening.
So as long as they beat Kentucky,
Congratulations, Georgia! You're in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, Tennessee.
You
need Georgia to win the SEC.
Yeah. All right. So those are the 3 huge games from last week. There were some other ones, but obviously those were just the ones with, like I said, playoff implications.
Arkansas lost to Liberty with a 3rd-string quarterback.
Mm-hmm. So that's what everybody was expecting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get into this game.
All right. So do you want to start off here, or?
Sure. I may not go with how the script looks, but
Okay. I'll fill in the gaps.
I was pretty much right about how scary it is playing a team with an interim coach that cares, gets the team behind them. That Auburn team was fired up. They didn't quit. They went down. Cadillac just running on the sideline, just at all times. High energy. The post game stuff after the loss, like the dude has them believing. And then I was very happy today when Auburn unveiled their new facility that it wasn't Brian Harsin that got to show him it. It was Cadillac.
Can we just talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
That's some things I've never seen in a football facility. Clemson has slides. Auburn has recording studios. What is it? Was it a golf simulator? A flight simulator. Not a golf simulator. A flight simulator. Like, what the heck?
They have a barber shop, which places have that, but
Yeah, I have seen that before.
and the place just looks awesome. And I read this one that in the weight room there's like theatrical lighting across the middle that can like do like a spotlight down on one rack for during max days. So all the other lights will go off and then it'll just do a spotlight on one of the racks.
Wow.
Which is the coolest thing ever. I don't care if that seems like a waste of money. That's awesome. I want to go there one day.
Yeah, I mean, it's things like that are going to set, like, we've been saying it for weeks. Like, the whole John Cohen to Auburn is not a lateral move. It's definitely an upgrade. And it's things like that prove that. So
I'm pretty sure they had a better indoor practice facility than us before, and then they built that.
I don't think we have much competition against anybody in our indoor practice facility, but yeah, like the whole like Lane Kiffin to Auburn would not be a lateral move either. Like that.
I'm not sure how many coaches wouldn't be a
That
lateral
locker
move.
room alone, or that whole facility alone proves that.
LSU.
So,
I mean, Auburn is like one spot worse of a job than LSU. Like, and they may be even. Like, the only
Yeah.
reason it's not Auburn over them is because Auburn has to play Georgia every year.
yeah,
Which
right.
that may be changing soon.
Yeah, right. And it was truly an incredible video, and it made it even better. Like you said, that Cadillac was the one that got to present it to him, and I always love those videos, no matter what the team is.
Give me my cookies. I'm not leaving here.
Players going through their new locker room and everything. It's so much fun to watch those.
This isn't even the locker room. My bad. I love it so much. And then at the end, Cadillac's like, "Y'all down for a sleepover?" What?
So confirmed, Auburn winning this weekend.
Yeah.
All right. So what else you got on this game?
Not much. I like Cadillac. It was fun to see him get his shot. His post-game interview was really, really good. I really enjoyed all the videos coming out of Auburn.
Yeah.
I'm glad Harsin didn't get to experience this.
Yeah. I mean, do you think there's any chance at all? And I know it's Auburn. They're a big school that needs to make a big change really quickly. No chance he becomes the head coach, right?
I don't know if he wants it,
Okay.
but I could see him staying as like associate head coach.
Yeah. Okay.
And
shoot, he may very well just be the running backs coach.
He'll be an Auburn lifer probably. Like,
yeah, that makes sense. I know it's always a difficult decision. Like if an interim does a good job, like some people feel like they deserve it, but Auburn needs something new.
I will shut down the wanting Dion stuff. For Auburn, you have your own Dion.
Yep, that's him.
Like, right?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. To talk just a little bit more about this game, and obviously, yeah, Cadillac had a big effect on it because it was an Auburn team that was truly dead for the weeks leading up to Harsin's firing. They didn't look dead for half of this game. I mean, they came out, they went down 17 points, and any team, especially a team that has lost 5 or 6 games in a row, lost their head coach a week ago, just don't really have much to play for. Like I wouldn't look down on them if they just quit at that point and we just win that game, 38, 40, 45 to nothing, whatever. But they didn't quit. I mean, they made us sweat it out, and it was just a mirror image of what we saw last year. Auburn went up 28-3, and then we just battled all the way back and scored 40 unanswered points or something crazy like that. And Auburn, in a sense, did the same thing to us. We were up 24-3, and they came back and took the lead. And had it not been just for some sloppy play, they would have just handled it to the very end. But just an ugly game from both teams. And
I've never been more grateful for a win.
Yeah.
That one had me contemplating. And I know I called it in the preseason and everything. That was the only thing I could fall back on.
Yeah.
But I
didn't even have
that one.
Yeah. I mean, it was an utter collapse, but walking away from that stadium, like it feels infinitely better to like experience that game and win it than to like see us go through all that and then lose it. Like, you're obviously not like thrilled about it either way, but it's still it does help out a lot that we won.
Did you hear that truck that just passed?
I did.
That was so loud.
I thought it was a tractor.
I live on an avenue.
16th Avenue?
Nope.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, or all the credit, truly needs to go to the defense. They dealt with short fields for Auburn's offense the whole time, like the whole game. Like 4 or 5 times we would turn the ball over, either Will getting strip sacked or, a punter not being able to handle a snap or trouble with the snap. Like they would just get the ball in our red zone. Like they had it like 3 or 4 times, and our defense and Zach Arnett held him out as long as he possibly could. And then in the fourth quarter, you could tell they were just out of gas. And Robbie Ashford, is that a quarterback's name?
Yeah.
He just took advantage of that.
You could call him a quarterback.
Yeah. Just quarterback draw and scramble after scramble, and he would just run in because we were just gassed by the end of it, and along with Tank Bigsby
and Jarquez Hunter, which they were just feeding, against us.
Yeah. So it wasn't pretty, but all the credit needs to go to the defense, I think, and then a little bit of credit to a referee that gave us a free pass interference penalty in overtime. Thank you for that.
An Auburn kicker missed. That was weird.
That was odd.
And a Mississippi State kicker hit 3 straight 44-yard field goals.
I'm going to talk about our offense in a little bit, but now that we're on the topic, let's just talk about special teams for a second. I have it titled here, Special Teams Giveth and Special Teams Taketh Away, because I'm just going to go through a series of things that happened in this game. So Tulu, returning punts for the first time in his life, they decide to give him a day with just nasty misting rain. I don't know what the reason for him not returning punts is, but I would assume it's just a little bit different catching punts with people in your face than it is kickoffs with people 40 yards away. And he was having to do this for the first time ever in the rain.
Was the rain like the Egg Bowl last year?
It was very similar. It just wasn't cold, yeah. Okay. So he muffed the first one and looked very uncomfortable for the first 4 or 5. And then he has 144 kick return yards and a touchdown. And I'm like, how is this the same person? Georgopoulos and Trafford, they had 5 punts that went an average of 32 yards. Trafford didn't hold one of them, and he was tackled before getting it off. And then Biscardi nails 3 straight 44-yard field goals. 2 of them didn't count because they were icing him, but he makes all 3 of them for some reason. And then a kickoff at the very end that gave us another chance to win on another field goal. A kickoff just goes straight off of an Auburn player's chest. It looked like something straight out of one of our NCAA 14 games. Not planned, supposedly. I mean, I don't know how you could plan that.
There's no way that would be planned. The SEC people were like, "Oh, that could have been planned," because they don't. Please don't plan that.
If that had gone bad, Auburn would have just needed 10 yards and they could have won the game. That is not the plan ever. But yeah, it was an ugly game for special teams. Ironically, special teams is what won it for us with Biscardi making the 44-yarder and Auburn missing it in overtime. I know we scored a touchdown, but football's weird. That could have made a difference. It is really weird that in a game where Auburn's offense struggled so much early on and our offense struggled so much in the second half. Through. Well, yeah, but it's weird that special teams is what won us the game, but it could have lost. It's weird. It's bizarre.
It was gross. Didn't like it.
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
So
didn't like it.
Enjoyed it. Hated it.
Wouldn't do again. Had a good time.
All right, so I'm going to bring up a little bit on the offense, and I'm going to fall back on you to kind of explain it to me if you can. So
okay, I'll try.
I need to know, I know that teams have kind of figured out stacking the box against Will kind of works because although you're not dropping 8, you're forcing him to make quick decisions, which sometimes that's just not a strong suit of his. Mm-hmm. And so they're getting to him a lot quicker, and taking advantage of very middle of the road offensive line too. It's not all on Will, but he could make better decisions and quicker ones. So because of this stacked box, whether it's 4 or 5 men, whatever, we're just not running the ball as much as we were weeks ago against A&M and Arkansas and teams before that. So is there some adjustment that we can make, or is the solution just try it? I mean, just try to run the ball.
It's get the those little running back or any of the little screen passes out to the outside. That's what you do. You make them cover out there. You spread those
Because
linebackers
then they can no
out.
longer stack it. Okay.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just it's like run game, but you're passing it. It's just
Okay.
the typical like it's an extension of the run game. Yeah, you got to get the ball out fast. That's how you do it. So it's just that, and then not being able to get in the rhythm, and it's just kind of when you get a bad Mississippi State offense, there's no getting out of it.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's just like we were super, super successful going into that Kentucky game, and then Kentucky, Alabama, and Auburn all in a row. It's like no more running the ball for us after having like huge performances in the weeks leading up to them. But
Texas
I know,
A&M may just be horrible against the run.
yeah, truly. And I remember I knew you were at the Arkansas game. The first possession that we had against them, and it was kind of set the tone for the whole day. But the first possession, I think we threw it one time, but we went 75 yards down the field, just straight running the ball. Like, it was something I had not
Please
seen out of
have
this
Bumper
offense.
Pool as your starting linebacker.
That helped.
I know he's good and everything, but I just hate him. Have a cooler name.
Sounds like an attraction at the fair. Well, Dylan, what game did he get hurt in? I was away from Mississippi State football for a few weeks.
What was our game before Alabama?
Kentucky.
I guess it was Kentucky.
Yeah. So Dylan was hurt, and he was very limited in the game against Auburn. But, Jaquavius Marks looked good the few times they let him go, and Simeon Price is good enough, It was just... It was tough to not see an adjustment be made. I think I heard on Thunder and Lightning that there was a stretch from the second quarter into the middle of the third that we passed the ball on like 25 straight plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's just hard to watch when you 3 and out or maybe one first down on a possession or something against Auburn, who is not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct.
So, yeah. Anyway. I think that's all I have on the Auburn game. I thought, when things start going bad for our offense, they just look terrible. Like, we saw it in the LSU game. We saw it in the Kentucky game. I'm sure it happened in the Bama game, but I didn't watch that. But, like, when we start getting 3 and outs and Roger starts getting sacked, receivers just stop catching the ball. And I know that weather had to do with it, but it's like the mentality just changes and we just lose focus, stop catching the ball, and everything just looks so ugly. But when we need to make plays, we've been making them. And Will had a like a 35, 40-yard pass to Ra that kind of put us back in the game after not scoring for like 2.5 quarters. So like credit has to be given there, I guess, to Will for just keeping composure and making a game-winning drive. And he did it twice, and almost did it 3 times after this fake squib kick kind of thing. But anyway, that's what I have on the Auburn game. It wasn't pretty. It was fun to be there, but it's just fun to be in Starkville. So, all right, moving on to all this information, all this data that we have for the Georgia game. I'll let you start off on this one.
Georgia's a 16.5-point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That seems about right. Maybe a little bit higher. They're not coming off of a loss, so we avoided that. That was pretty good. They're pretty good. Not gonna lie.
They are a good team.
I mean, have they only played 2 road games this season?
Georgia? Really?
Yeah. They played South Carolina and Missouri on the road. Yeah, because Florida, that's a neutral site, and Oregon was a neutral site.
Okay, gotcha.
And then, jeez.
Is Kentucky on the road?
Yeah, Kentucky's on the road as well.
What about Georgia Tech?
Georgia Tech is at home.
Okay.
So, I mean, Georgia, in 1 out of their 2 games on the road, they didn't play great.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll
huge
have
sample size.
I'm sure we'll have the South Carolina part of that data.
Yeah,
the 48
definitely not the Missouri
7 game, opposed to the 26-22 with leading the entire game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Georgia's pretty good. I refuse to respect Stetson Bennett. Regardless of what he does to us in this game, I will not respect him. I do not care. I'll die on that hill.
You don't have Jones in your bones?
Nope. I'm not even sure he was that good at Jones. I think he was carried by the defense.
He was bad. He was just horrible. I don't know why he got a shot at Georgia.
Because Kirby,
I don't know why.
He must have pictures of Kirby Smart. Which I guess he won a national championship and was the best quarterback against a Heisman winner in a national championship game. I don't know. I refuse to respect him. Georgia's good. They have those big scary group of linebackers. There's no real sample size or any comparison to playing against those guys. The size of everyone else's left tackles, but running 4.4s and catching everything. So that's a little worrisome.
Mm-hmm.
We did play them well in 2020. That team may not have been very good. If you remember, I believe that was a 3-loss Georgia in a 10-game season. So yeah, I don't know what to think here. I'd be very surprised if we won easily.
Would you?
Yeah. But would I be surprised if this game is close? No, just because the universe likes to hurt me. Just give me just a little bit of hope, then hurt me. But yeah, that's kind of what I got on Georgia.
Okay.
They haven't.
I will say, going back to that 2020 game, that's a game that I think about probably way too often. But it was one of the more unexpected.
It made me so happy.
I don't think I've ever been that happy and remembered a loss like that 3 years later, except for 2017 Alabama that I still think about to this day. But that was more we should have won if the referees hadn't screwed it up. This one was we could have just won. No help from referees, no help from half of our roster. We played with 40 players and almost beat a top 10 team.
25 scholarship players.
Yeah. And that was a game, I think if Stetson Bennett had started, we would have won. But they started JT Daniels for, the first time and the only time, maybe.
He decided to be really, really good.
And he just aired it out to Jermaine Burton, 5 times. I just want to look at his stats from that game. Hold on. He's now at Alabama, by the way.
Great wide receiver there, right?
And having fun, yeah. He had, in that game, 8 catches for 197 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That may be more receiving yards than he has at Alabama this year.
Yep.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. George Pickens, also in that game, 8 catches and 87 yards for a touchdown. We'll see him. But yeah. We were just JT Daniels away from winning that game. So now that he's not there, I guarantee we win. Jermaine Burton and JT Daniels gone. So, all threats neutralized. So, yeah, makes sense to me. That being said...
How many receiving yards did Jermaine Burton have in that game?
197.
He has 188 on the season this year with 2 touchdowns.
And that was playing against Martin Emerson and Emmanuel Forbes. What were they doing? I would have to assume.
No, it was our safeties. We had a white safety, remember?
Yeah. We were playing with White Gidry. Anyway, 2020 was awesome.
Good year all around, right?
We had a bowl win. Thanks, MVP Malik Heath. No, MVK, most valuable kicker. Anyway, yeah, that's what I got. I to close out on Georgia, that 2020 game, I think about it a lot. That's the reason I think that we'll keep it within 2 scores. That's the only thing I got.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think we match up horribly. But that 2020 game, man, that was fun.
Yeah. You want to get into our picks for the week?
Let's do it.
Okay.
These picks are brought to us by Football Freddy, who is still the reason that I'm on top somehow. I'm up 1 game with 3 weeks left.
Yeah.
So That's not going to hold.
If we're tied, we have to pick the Army-Navy game.
Is that what we're going to do?
I don't know. That kind of sounds fun.
What if we both pick the same one?
We have a wheel.
Okay.
We have a wheel that assigns our picks.
All right.
And we do it against the spread.
All right. So first game that we got here, and these are with the we're going to hear rankings, and they're the college football playoff rankings. They're not AP poll, because AP poll doesn't matter anymore. So game number 1, we've got number 7 LSU at Arkansas.
I'm taking LSU here. Scared for LSU. Spooky spot. But I think they'll run on them. So yeah.
I need LSU to win this game. Also need them to beat A&M. So I just want to eliminate any chance for Ole Miss to make it to Atlanta.
How much I would like the shot to keep Ole Miss out of Atlanta. I don't want it. I don't.
Oh, that would be horrible, but so much fun. Like
I'd really enjoy it.
If everything goes right, Ole Miss just has to win the Egg Bowl, and Mississippi State stands in their way. We would lose that game 20 times out of 20. But probably,
if we did win it, oh my God.
But probably win it 20 times out of 20 because it's the Egg Bowl and makes 0 sense. But we know that's not how that would go. I want their chances to be eliminated tomorrow. So anyway, I'm taking LSU as well. Game number 2, it's the game I'm most excited for, but most scared of. Game number 2 is number 10 Alabama at number 11 Ole Miss. As we've mentioned, Alabama coming off of a heartbreaking loss. Lose this game, and they will not have double-digit wins in a regular season for the first time since I don't know. Is it
just say 2007? It's a good guess.
2007, probably. Yeah, that is hilarious. And Ole Miss could do it. I mean, like, they have the chance to do it. Alabama is 12.5 favorites or something.
Yeah, I think it may have dropped a lot. But one thing on Alabama is, apart from undefeated teams, they are so incredibly close to being undefeated.
Yeah.
But they're also very, very close to being a 3-loss team right now. 4-loss
I mean,
team.
They are an ugly field goal against Tennessee and a freak 2-point conversion against LSU from being undefeated and no doubt like a top 2 team.
And then they could also be at 4 losses right now. I mean, A&M, right. Jimbo called a good play, and Quinn Ewers don't die.
Challenge, difficulty, Heisman.
But yeah, Alabama may be good. They may suck. But, I mean, if you look at Ole Miss, I mean, I know they run the ball really, really well. There's a reason for that. You have to. But, yeah. I'm not sure on either of these teams, so I'm going with Alabama.
I don't think it's ever like a bad choice to go with Alabama.
They were close with LSU. Ole Miss got bullied by LSU.
Yeah.
So you take those. That's what I'm going with. Alabama
right.
here.
I like it. I'm also going Alabama. It may just not happen. Every week I expect Ole Miss to get like put in their place and like finally get exposed, but it just I guess LSU, it was their one time to do it, but
Ole Miss going 11-1 and not going to Atlanta would be funny though.
Yeah, I would have to say I would kind of enjoy that. But I do need Alabama to shut them up really quick, though.
Yeah.
Get your popcorn ready, by the way. Game number 3 is number 22 UCF at number 16 Tulane in a game that everybody expected to be a ranked matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
me included.
I'm taking UCF. Don't really.
Yeah, I'm also taking UCF. Tulane.
JRP.
Their main win on the season, Kansas State, but their one loss on the season, Southern Miss. So, make it make sense. I'm taking UCF and John Rice Plumlee. Game number 4, another fun one. Would have been America's Game of the Week if Georgia wasn't coming to Mississippi State. But South Carolina at Florida. Yep, that's happening. Give me Florida.
Yeah. Florida.
All right. Next, we've got Bo Nix at home. We've got Washington.
Yep, my pick's easy. Give me Oregon.
Washington at number 6, Bo Nix. And, there we go.
Bo Nix
Taking Bo Nix.
Take them.
All right. Now we're getting here into some fun ones. Maybe one fun one. Game number 6 is number 4, TCU, with a chance to screw up everything if they just went out, go undefeated. For TCU at number 18, Texas. TCU, probably the slowest starting team in all of college football. I mean, it's like every time I look at their score, they're down by like 14. And then all of a sudden I look and they won. So what do you think about this one?
Texas is staunchly opposed to purple. So give me Texas.
First reported by Going for Two.
I bet no one else is talking about how Texas is staunchly opposed to purple.
Right. I mean, it's remarkable.
I can't go another week with a TCU post-win video. I've reached my limit. Techno win.
If you don't know what we're talking about,
just go to TCU's Instagram and watch their post-win videos.
Yeah.
Be like technowin.mp4.
The TCU and the Buffalo Bills, they are the same.
Can we talk about TCU's fight song? Have you heard it, Jack?
Was it a video of them like singing it on a plane or something?
Yeah.
No, that was Tulane, I think.
Let me.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ram, bazoo. Lickety, lickety, zoo, zoo. Ooh, wah, wah, ooh. Give 'em hell, TCU. Ram, bazoo. Lickety, lickety, zoo, zoo. Ooh, wah, wah, ooh. Give 'em hell, TCU. Ram, bazoo. Lickety, lickety, zoo.
Lickety, lickety, zoo, zoo.
I could have done without that.
Yeah. So give me Texas.
Texas. Give me Texas. I want Texas to be good at football. It's all that I ever want. I want Texas and Mississippi State to be undefeated every year. And
Dude, Courtney just posted your honeymoon pictures.
Oh.
Dude, I think I beat you to the like.
I don't have my phone on me.
Let's go. I'm so good at this.
Anyway, yeah, I want Texas to be good at football every year. I just think it's so much more fun when Texas is good at football. I say that about every blue blood team whenever they're good, but Texas is just special. I like them a lot. I want them to play spoiler in this TCU season. So, both of us taking Texas there. So game number 7, number 15 North Carolina, sitting at 8-1 right now, randomly, going to Wake Forest. I'll pick this one first since I think you've picked first every time. Give me North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm going Wake here. I think it's time for North Carolina to, take that loss that they've been waiting on it for a good little time, and it'd be ACC-esque for it to end with Clemson around number 11 and then everyone else at around 23 through 32. So
yeah, I like it. So the first one we're disagreeing on, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm taking North Carolina. You're taking Wake Forest. Should be a good one there. Then we got game number 8, A&M at Auburn. The battle of two teams that have not won since September. A&M essentially just got eliminated from bowl contention last week. Unless they can find a win. What are they right now? 3-5?
3-6.
3-6?
Yeah,
A&M.
Yeah, I think they may be 3.
A&M would have to win their next 3 games, and one of those is against LSU. So probably not going to happen. But I don't even think they're going to win this game. I think Auburn wins.
Yeah, I'm taking Auburn as well.
Man, I like it. All right, game number 9, number 23, Kansas State at Baylor. I'm actually having to go and look at who I said was going to win this game.
I know who you picked. I have it on my screen right now.
All right, so I'm going to let you pick first, so I'll know who I picked.
Yeah. I took Baylor here. Baylor's in a weird spot. They have like a really easy shot randomly to be in the Big 12 championship after what seems like a disappointing season. They're just sitting there at 6-3 with the same record as Texas, Baylor, Kansas State, all just hunched up right there. And,
just so you know, or anybody listening right now, we do pre-decide our picks. Like, we know what each other are going to pick. I know that might ruin the fun, but we're just trying to keep us honest here.
So we don't. Jack doesn't get a 1-game lead and then block me.
Just yeah.
Imagine if other Mississippi State shows could do this.
Like, it's such a simple solution, and you can make it sound. You can still make it sound organic if you want to.
It is organic. Just have your picks.
Yeah. Like, yeah, there you go.
Don't make up your picks on the spot.
I get a 1-game lead in September, and I'm like, well, I won. Sorry.
I'll be picking that because you're picking that.
What? All right. See, just today, like, Hunter has a chance to flip it from a 1-game deficit to a 1-game win.
Yeah.
If not, I can't imagine not having this thought process. All right. Now, game number 10, America's Game of the Week. Dogs versus Dogs. Number 1, Georgia, coming to town at Mississippi State. Give me who you think's winning and a score prediction.
Give me the Dogs.
That was fun.
That was a good one, wasn't it? Yeah. Give me Georgia. I know I picked this one in my preseason thing. Georgia is not regressing how I expected. They're kind of better, and we're worse. So, yeah. Give me Georgia. I'll give you my score prediction. What did they do against Kent State? 39-22 sounds right.
All right. You think we're putting up 22 on them?
Man, we could.
All right. I think we're going to go 45-13. Georgia winning 45-13.
Okay. Offensive player of the week?
My offensive player of the week, I think we're going to need to see multiple scores from Caleb Ducking if we're going to have any chance to make this interesting. I know multiple scores would make sense if we missed an extra point for the 13-point prediction there. But if we're going to have a chance, I think Caleb Ducking needs to go for multiple scores.
Give me Justin Robinson. Revenge game. That could be kind of fun.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That's the only reason I have that.
Yeah. All right. Your defensive guy first?
Jet Johnson.
I like it.
I'll lead the team in tackles.
What do you think? Some Jet on Stetson Crime this weekend?
No,
maybe
not really. Just a bunch of tackles for around 8-yard gain.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I haven't heard because our transparency in our football program is 0. If Emmanuel Forbes is like alive, if he's playing, if he's on the operating table right now, I have no idea. I would like to have him as my player of the week every single week. You said him as your player of the week, and he had surgery. So I'll take him, and if he's not out there,
it's still it.
Yeah, then just I'm sure he'll have more of an effect than half of our defense. Yeah, there we go. So, Instagram questions to close us out. What do you think?
Yeah. You want to do those, or do you want me to do them?
I'll do them.
Okay.
All right. We have 2 questions here from Courtney Taylor. Question number 1: who would you like to see in the playoffs? Give me your quick 4 right now.
Who would I like to see, or what's going to happen? I'll give you what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
Okay. Georgia is making it. So Georgia won. Ohio State's going to abuse Michigan, hopefully. If not, Michigan will abuse Ohio State. So we have Georgia, Ohio State, or Michigan. So I'm going to lean Ohio State. We have Pac-12 champion Oregon. So they'll have a really good resume. And then my 4th team will be Tennessee. I think TCU is going to lose this week, and I think Tennessee. I mean, they're sitting there. They have a massive win over LSU, and that's only going to age better.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
So that's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with your first two, like Clemson and then the Big Ten.
Clemson?
No, Georgia. I mean, Georgia and the one of the Ohio State, Michigan teams. I'll probably say Oregon, and then, just for something fun, say TCU proves me wrong. I'll let them slide in.
Okay.
Just for content, as we do.
Content.
All right, question number 2 from Courtney. Top 5 best restaurants in Starkville.
44 Prime is up there.
Let's do 2 individual lists. We had different restaurant experiences in Starkville.
Starting at number 5, give me Humble Taco as my 5th.
Yeah, it's
I have good
up
times
there for
there.
sure.
What's your 5th?
Number 5 for me, I'm probably going to go Little Dewey.
Okay.
I like it.
Number 4 for me. I may run out of these. Give me Taste for my number 4.
Okay, I never went there.
That's pretty good.
I'll go
Changed
Humble
it
Taco
once.
for my 4.
Okay. Number 3, give me Stromboli's.
Okay. R.I.P.
No, they're still in the name and everything, so it'll still be there.
Okay, gotcha.
Don't worry.
Number 3 for me, I'll probably go Restaurant Tyler.
Okay.
Like a Mississippi River biscuit.
Yeah. Number 2 for me, give me 44 Prime.
Okay. Number 2, I'm going Two Brothers.
Okay. Yeah, Two Brothers didn't make mine somehow. I didn't go there a lot. And then number 1, give me Bulldog Burger. I've never had a bad time there.
That is my number 1.
It's so
Every
good.
time.
It's so good.
Okay,
They don't miss.
Nathan Taylor, my uncle, he tells me, like, his strategy is every time he goes down one burger, like, on the list. Like, he just gets a different one every time. I do that, and some of the burgers don't even sound good. Like, I don't like barbecue all that much, like, on a burger especially. I would just get a barbecue burger sometimes, and it would just hit every single time.
That's so weird.
Like, pepper jelly on a burger. Why is this
Cream cheese on a burger?
Why does this taste good? Just a fried mozzarella patty on a burger.
That's the best thing on earth. God.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the question, Courtney. Next question is from CJ Hunter. So we've got which Bulldog will win? Key players?
I'll probably go with Fresno State here. And give me Jake Hainer.
Yeah. I hate you. I'll probably go Georgia. Key players, Caleb Ducking and maybe Emmanuel Forbes. For further explanation on that, just go back and listen to the podcast.
I'm sure there's some
last question.
basketball Bulldogs playing tonight.
Right. Last question here comes from Football Nathan 17. And it is, what is a good nickname for Will?
Probably Baseball Will 2.
I'll probably say, like, William would probably be a good nickname for Will.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. All right. So that's going to do it for our Instagram questions. We truly appreciate all of you sending us questions. I know it was kind of a last minute thing here on a Friday. But there we go. We can always count on you guys for the questions. Can always count on you guys to listen. And we hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you have a great weekend of college football or not watching college football, whatever you choose to do. Hope you have a good one. And we'll see you next time on Going for Two with Jack Taylor. We're not going to see them.
Jack,
I say that every time.
Remember when you were like, we're going to speed through this and then we're going to be around 55 minutes?
Are we at 55 minutes?
We're at 54:17.
Man,
We're
pretty.
We're a well-oiled machine.
I can just feel it. It's getting time to.
What are we going to say for Luke Meyer?
Hey, Luke.
Who's the best wide receiver on the Dallas Cowboys? CD's nuts.